And, the wonderful stories that Raquel discussed are not included in the corridos. Some of the best-known corridos supposedly about women of the revolution are Adelita, which we heard at the beginning, and La Valentina. And in a sense, if you listen to this song, there's as much about the man there as about the woman. And we don't really know whether there was ever a woman named Adelita, as we know the details of many of the men that were in the revolution through the corridos, because those are well documented. And the stories of the women, we have generic names. La Adelita is the generic name. La Valentina is the generic name. Las Juanas, who were they? We really don't know, except through the stories that Raquel can relate to us from women who lived and participated in that. But, when we think about the revolution, still, it's very difficult to think about it without the imagery and the sound. In the imagery of the revolution, a photograph of Victor Casasola, Agustín Victor Casasola. In the music of the revolution are the corridos. It's hard to look at an image without hearing this music. It's hard to hear this music without having the image, in a sense, in one's mind. In terms, and anyway, the corrido, very briefly, is a story. It documents real-life events and occurrences. And there are hundreds of corridos about the revolution. But as Raquel mentioned, we found a handful that say anything about women, and most of the time we don't know any of their names. When the corrido tradition tends to be very specific, very detailed. It gives us a sense of place, location, time, date, and here these women are gone. This tradition, incidentally, up until narco corridos, there were more corridos about the Mexican Revolution than any other theme or topic. And the revolution, in a sense, as a concept, continues to be popular today among not only academics, but the general public. We see T-shirts with particularly Zapata. Where are the women? Where are the images of any woman when we think about the revolution? We don't have those details. I'm not going to talk, basically the corrido will deal with any theme you can imagine. Here are some recent themes from Arizona. Here's some corridos that deal with some of the things going on in Arizona. Acabo de vergüenza, corrido de la ley SB 1010, los terroristas de Arizona. I can assure you that's not about Middle Eastern people. Los del Partido del Té, the Tea Party people. And these are just titles, examples. La Rielera, La Valentina, La Adelita really are almost love songs. They're included in collections of corridos of the revolution, but the best collections really say cantares y corridos, because some of these are really songs. They're not in the true traditional form of the corridos. But, a lot of them. We saw the Valentina, the imagery of the soldadera, and here we talk about, Raquel mentioned the social classes. The women from different social classes were involved. And in this Recuerdos del Regreso, this corrido, they talk about las mujeres educadas versus the next verse that says las mujeres de la plebe. Right? These are two contrasts. Highly educated, sort of elite, if you will, of the period versus the commoners. But they were all engaged in one way or another. This is the only corrido, and in fact these are two different corridos. One es Corrido de las Hazañas del General Lojero y la Toma de Torreón. That's the title of one, and the verses on the left relate to that. The other corrido, Combate del 15 de Mayo, is a different one, but this is a place where you actually have a name of a real woman. Right? Petra Herrera. And she was, muy valiente, out there with the men, and in fact leading the charge in many cases. Apart from this, the references are generic. La güera. Who was la güera? Well, some woman, but it's just la güera. Could have been anyone. La chata. Who's the la chata? Well, again, no name, no. We can't recognize these women. Y entre el corrido de la muerte de Emiliano Zapata, which is a very long corrido, literally goes on for pages, we have a woman who warns Zapata. She comes and warns him that, you know, it might be death here. That night he sleeps with his wife. This is, I jumped the verses here, so, but it's his wife he's sleeping with, not this woman. But his wife that night also is concerned. But we don't know the names, not from the corridos, we don't know the names of the women, right? Just something as simple as that. Here again, no reference to women. Just a few closing comments. Did you want to, Raquel, you talk a little bit about this? And then we're going to, no sé si te animaron a, ¿sí? Close with Adiós del Soldado, which is also, it's a goodbye of a male soldier to his loved one. He dies in battle, and then you know, his spirit comes around all the time to her window. But what I was asking the musicians is that in doing this research and putting this presentation together, I was inspired to compose a corrido. And I don't sing, so we showed them the words as we walked in. We didn't, you know, plan this, so they're not going to try to sing it. But I will project the words up here in a minute. A ver si les gusta.